The morning my life changed started with a knock. Not soft, not polite, but sharp and angry, the kind that makes you think the world is ending behind the door. I opened it just a few inches, expecting maybe a package, a neighbor, a friend. Instead, I found Linda, the self-proclaimed queen of the HOA. Her sunglasses reflected the sunlight like two judgmental mirrors, and in her hand, she held a clipboard stacked with papers that already looked like trouble. "Mrs. Avery," she said, voice dripping with fake sympathy, "we need to discuss your ongoing violations." I blinked. Violations? She held up a bright yellow notice like it was a trophy. "Your flower bed is overgrown. Your front hedge is uneven. And," she leaned closer, lowering her voice, "your lawn ornaments are inappropriate for community standards." My chest tightened. She meant his ornaments, the little garden pieces my late husband had collected over 20 years of travel, each one placed with care, each one a memory. My voice wavered. "Those were my husband's." Linda sighed dramatically, loud enough for the neighbors across the street to hear. "Well, he's not here anymore, is he? And the HOA needs the property to reflect current standards. Sentimental clutter isn't allowed." The words hit like a punch. A couple, walking their dog, paused, watching. Linda angled herself so they could hear her better. She wanted an audience. "Your yard," she continued, tapping the clipboard, "is becoming an eyesore, and frankly, it reflects poorly on the entire street." My breath caught. She was shaming me, publicly, purposefully. I stepped out onto the porch, holding back the sting in my eyes. "Linda, the garden is a memorial to my husband. Please, I need time." But Linda smiled, the kind of smile people give before doing something cruel. "Oh, honey," she cooed. "Rules don't pause just because you're emotional. This neighborhood has standards. If your husband were here, I'm sure he wouldn't want the place to look like this." The crowd murmured. A hot mix of humiliation and anger flushed through my chest. My hands trembled. Linda turned, raising her voice even more. "Residents, please note that all yards must follow community guidelines. No exceptions." My husband's garden, an example. She humiliated me on purpose, but she didn't know something critical. I was about to uncover the one secret that would destroy her entire HOA empire. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Linda's smirk, the way she waved that violation slip like a weapon, the way the neighbors looked at me with sympathy I didn't want. By sunrise, I wasn't angry anymore. I was determined. So when I stepped outside the next morning, coffee in hand, I didn't expect to see Linda already standing at the edge of my driveway, phone up, snapping pictures of my husband's memorial garden like it was a crime scene. I froze. She didn't. "Morning," she said without looking up. "Just collecting documentation for your upcoming fines." My what? "Oh, I didn't tell you." She smiled sweetly, a venomous kind of sweet. "You'll be receiving a formal notice today. Your fines total $380, and that's just the beginning." My heart dropped. "Linda, this is harassment." She shrugged. "I prefer the word enforcement." But something was off. She kept zooming in on the same spot, the small stone bench my husband built by hand. Her photos weren't of the garden. They were of that bench. "Why do you keep photographing the bench?" I asked. Linda's smile faltered for a split second, a fraction, but I caught it. "No reason," she snapped. "It's non-compliant, that's all." Non-compliant? A stone bench? I studied her for a moment. Her tapping foot, her tight shoulders, her eyes darting toward the street every few seconds
as if waiting for someone. Something wasn't right. And then I noticed the envelope under her arm. Thick, sealed, marked with a red stamp. Property lien request. Expedited. My stomach knotted. "You're putting a lien on my home?" I whispered. She flinched, tightening her grip on the envelope. "That's none of your concern until it's official." My hands went cold. A lien meant she wasn't just fining me. She was trying to take my home. But why? Before I could speak, a voice called out from across the yard. "Linda, are you seriously doing this again?" We both turned. It was Mr. Delgado, a quiet man who kept to himself. I'd barely seen him speak to anyone. He walked over, eyes fixed on Linda with exhaustion, not anger. He said, "Last month it was me. You tried to fine me for a mailbox you claimed wasn't neighborhood approved. Turned out you made the rule up." Linda stiffened. "Stay out of this." But he didn't. He stepped closer to me and whispered, "Check your garden cameras. She's been coming here early in the mornings." My heart thundered. "Why?" He shook his head. "I don't know, but I've seen her, and she's hiding something." Linda's face went pale. And in that moment, I realized something far bigger than fines or violations. Linda wasn't trying to control my garden. She was trying to cover up something, and I was about to find it. I didn't waste a second. The moment Linda stormed off, heels stabbing the pavement like angry punctuation marks, I rushed into the house and headed straight for the small security hub my husband installed years ago. He used to joke that it was overkill, but now I silently thanked him for every paranoid precaution. I clicked into the garden camera feed. Morning files. 5 a.m., 5:12 a.m., 5:27 a.m. Linda, Linda, Linda. There she was, creeping into my yard like a raccoon with a clipboard, tiptoeing around the flower beds, stopping at the stone bench every single time. But at 5:27 a.m., something changed. She crouched beside the bench, looking around to make sure no one was watching. Then she reached under the stone slab and pulled something out. A small black pouch. My breath caught. She opened it, checked the contents, then zipped it back up and shoved it under the bench again, fast, like she was afraid of being caught. My mind raced. What could she possibly be hiding on my property? I rewound the footage and zoomed in. Her hands trembled as she opened the pouch. Even in the grainy early morning light, I saw it. Stacks of cash. Not a little, a lot. My heart pounded against my ribs. Linda wasn't trying to clean up my garden. She was using it as a hiding spot. Illegal money. And if I knew one thing about Linda, it was that she never risked anything unless the reward was huge. Suddenly, the excessive fines made sense. The forced violations, the lien. She needed access to my yard. She needed control. She needed leverage. And when my husband died, she probably thought, perfect, easy target, no one to protect her. My anger boiled into something sharper. Purpose. I copied the footage to a flash drive. Because this wasn't HOA corruption anymore. This was criminal. But as I walked back to the living room, a shadow moved past my window. A silhouette paused right outside. Someone was watching my house. And when the figure stepped into the morning light, my breath froze. It was the same man from the footage, the one who took the cash, and he was walking straight to my front door. The knock wasn't loud. It was slow, deliberate, like the person on the other side already knew I was standing there, frozen. I peeked through the curtain. The same man from the footage, the cash drop stranger. He looked ordinary enough. Jeans, plain shirt, cap pulled low. But something about the way he scanned the front porch made fear crawl up my spine. He wasn't delivering packages. He was checking for threats. I took a breath and cracked the door open only an inch. "Can I help you?" I asked, steady voice disguising my pulse racing. He flashed a polite smile, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. "Morning, ma'am. Funny thing, I misplaced something yesterday morning. Thought maybe it rolled under that bench in your garden." He knew that I knew. My fingers tightened around the flash drive in my pocket. "I haven't seen anything," I lied. His smile thinned. "Mind if I check?" "Yes," I answered immediately. "I do mind." His jaw twitched. I felt the shift, the politeness fading, the real motive surfacing. "Look," he said, stepping closer. "Linda and we have business. If you just let us handle it, no one has to get—" He stopped when he saw my other hand, because I was holding my phone, recording. His expression darkened. "That's not necessary." "I think it is, because the police will be very interested in your morning business." He leaned in, his voice low and controlled. "You don't want to get involved. You're grieving, emotional. People like Linda, they'll drag you through hell if you fight them." I raised my chin. "And I will drag them right back." For a moment, we stared each other down, quiet war in broad daylight. Then he stepped back, glaring. "This isn't over," he muttered. "Give us what's ours, or we'll take it." He walked away, disappearing down the street, but every part of me knew he'd be back. Before I could breathe again, a second figure appeared at the end of the driveway. Linda. Her eyes locked onto mine. She knew I had footage. She knew I had power. But her lips curled into a smug smile. She raised a sheet of paper, waving it tauntingly. Another violation notice. And in bold red letters, "Final warning before foreclosure." My hands shook, not from fear, but rage. Linda wanted a war. Fine, she was going to get one. Because I wasn't just a grieving widow anymore. I was a widow with proof, and I was done letting anyone take anything else from me.
By the next morning, my fear had burned itself into something sharper: resolve. I printed photos from the security footage. I prepared copies of the flash drive. I gathered every violation notice Linda ever gave me, each one more ridiculous than the last. And when the HOA board's weekly open meeting began on Ms. Bradshaw's front lawn, I was standing there waiting. Neighbors whispered when they saw me. Some offered sympathetic smiles. Others clenched their fists, tired of Linda's tyranny. Linda strutted in like she owned the world, heels clicking, fake confidence radiating off her like cheap perfume. The treasurer and secretary followed behind, looking exhausted. She spotted me and smirked. "Well, well, look who decided to join the community for once." I stepped forward, holding up the final warning notice she gave me. "Before foreclosure? Really? Because I have a feeling the board doesn't know anything about that." The board members exchanged confused looks. Linda's face tightened. "This is internal business," she snapped. "She has been non-compliant for weeks." "Actually," I cut in, "I've been compliant, and you've been hiding crimes." Gasps erupted around us. Linda barked out a laugh. "Crimes? Oh, please. You sound desperate." I lifted the flash drive. This contains videos of you trespassing, vandalizing my husband's memorial garden, and using my property as a drop site for illegal money deals." Dead silence. Her smile shattered. "That footage is doctored!" she shrieked. I ignored her and looked to the treasurer. "I believe you handle financials, correct? Have there been unexplained expenses?" He swallowed. Hard. "We've been missing HOA funds for months. And if I'm not mistaken," I added, eyes locked on Linda, "you filed unauthorized lien paperwork against multiple homeowners recently." Neighbors began yelling. "She tried that with me. She fined my mailbox for no reason. She threatened to tow my car because it was red." Chaos exploded. But the board president raised a hand. "Enough." He turned to Linda slowly. "Do you have anything to say? Any proof this resident is lying?" Linda's voice trembled. I was trying to protect property values." The officer from the sidewalk stepped forward. Yes, they showed up, holding the same porch footage I gave them last night. "Ma'am, you're under investigation for embezzlement, harassment, and extortion." Linda broke. "No, no, you can't do this. I am this community." "No," the board president said quietly. "You were." Two officers walked her to the curb, handcuffs clicking in the bright morning light. Neighbors cheered. I stood still, feeling my husband beside me, proud, present. The board turned to me. "We are deeply sorry. Your memorial garden can stay. Forever." I nodded, fighting a tear, because Linda tried to take everything, my peace, my home, my memories. But instead, she lost everything. And finally, I could breathe again.